Hi, I'm a future college dropout. I honestly feel like I've outgrown college for what I needed it for. See, I study communications and music production, and it gets a lot of shit for being an easy major, but, well, shit, I'm not cutting people's brains open, and I'm not coding a fucking computer. Obviously, we're not gonna have the same workload. But then sometimes I'd be standing still. This is when my hair was like blonde and in a fro. They'd be like, holy shit, I thought you were a mannequin. They're like, you're so fucking beautiful. I thought you were a mannequin. Guys, stop. When it comes to pop culture, we tend to focus on more of the, stupid stuff that we see in the news. The idea of studying culture phenomenons turns me on. Well, I actually can't count on my hands how many concerts I've been to. It's gotten to a point now that I go to like local shows and stuff, I actually laugh at the fact that I should probably be on stage. Like, I'm like, this punk rock band has the best bass line I have ever heard, and this white boy is screaming on top of it. Kick him off, give me a fucking mic. So I took a theories of communications class and we read the book Sidewalk by Mitch Dunye. Overall, I thought it was stupid. I thought it was the dumbest book I've ever read. Because from a linguistics aspect, he couldn't even define the language that they used as a dialect, AAVE, African American Vernacular English. He called it street talk. They said, I think it would be better for, documentation purposes if you put up a microphone and recorded their conversations and tape recorded them, Well, shit, yeah, obviously he should have done that. What do you mean? You know what I mean? And specifically because of the linguistics aspect, specifically because of AAVE. You're talking to a bunch of black men on the street in the 90s. They're going to speak differently than your white ass. Sorry, Mitch. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you couldn't even define what they were doing as a hustle. It was a hustle. They sold books on the street. It was a hustle. I borderline passed the class, but I hated the book so much that it inspired me to create my own ethnographic research study. So my research study is called The Elephant in the Room. So I started my research study with a specific arrangement of 12 words, thus creating a canonical arrangement kind of like the Bible. Genesis is the first book in the Bible, and adolescence is the first word in my arrangement of words. So people would pick a number 1 through 12, and then I would give them a word that's associated with the number, and I would have them define it like this. Your word is blank. Please define blank in the context of pop culture in the year 2026. And everybody would answer it. And the way that we took this information was through social media, like Instagram. It's digitalized. We're having conversations like we're on the sidewalk, but babe, we're online now. I live on the internet. I grew up on it. Pop culture is literally my culture. You know what I mean? And I used to work for the hockey team. I worked at the Kraken. You know how heated rivalry is trending right now on social media? I think it's so funny because I'm like, oh yeah, I used to work for the hockey team. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mother's Day, for the Mother's Day game, I flirted with Joy DeCord's mom. Yeah, Joy DeCord's mom fucked with me. She said she fucked with my vibe. Joy DeCord's mom said she fucked with my vibe. She'd tell her son about me. I don't know shit about hockey. I could care less. Your mom's hot, Joey. You have a hot mom. You have a hot mom. But your family left you.
That's literally what I want to say.
Funny enough, I feel
anxiety is probably one of the
only constant
I'm like,
things in my life.
Oh,
she's been through so much trouble.
Growing up, I was considered socialized. Like, I was
none of it was your fault. Like, this is our
sidewalks have turned into algorithms.
When I tell you, so the part of the anxiety that we have,
there are no sidewalks anymore.
But also
for identity,
parking lots.
We
don't
live
in
out of our
control
cities, and even if we do,
but not all of it's our
freeze
fault.
Is real. Some people
the
don't
actually
that,
let that ease some of your anxiety. Take the weight off of your shoulders.
Meaning
you
not even
didn't. This is anxiety. My parents growing up would tell me that I had anxiety. They would blame all of my outbursts,
I sit in front of the camera
and my crying and my
fear
for life.
I also want to say like thank you to my therapist.
Sit in front of the screen and listen. I
started thinking about this.
This is how we have a conversation.
I
said,
asthma.
When was the first time I felt anxiety? This one specific memory that I think about all the time. I was probably 7 years old. I was in Burlington with my mom, maybe my aunt, and my siblings, right? We're standing in the back of the store, and I see this Dora the Explorer umbrella. So I open it. I open the umbrella in the store. Bad luck. Yeah, bad luck.
When I closed the umbrella, my entire family disappeared. They were gone. So I was like, nervous, scared. I'm 7, alone in the store. I go up to the front and I ask the frontline workers, I say, hey guys, I need to find my parents. So they call them up, and then my family laughs. They're like, yeah, we were in the shoe aisle, da, da, da. And that's how I left the memory all this time. Until the other day, I started reflecting back, and I blamed myself. And I'm like, hey, actually, I just opened the umbrella. They left me. And then I start to think about where my anxiety is actually coming from. And realistically, there's just other wounds that I haven't faced, like the abandonment ones. I didn't do anything wrong in the store that day. Yeah, I opened the umbrella. Yeah, it's bad luck, whatever, but I didn't lose my family. They left me. And so I would beat myself up and blame myself in the 7 years of bad luck for all of this and that and the third, but realistically, I did nothing wrong other than opening the umbrella in the store. Anxiety is probably one of the only constant things in my life. Since I was a kid, it was the first identifiable thing that I knew about my personality. See, my parents growing up would tell me that I had anxiety, and I would cry all the time, and I was sensitive, and you know what I mean? All this, that, and the third. And to be honest, I kind of disagree.
And so when I say I love music, it's to the point where I want to start a band. And I think I'm going to, just for shits and giggles. Just for shits and giggles, I want to make a grunge funk band. The thing about pop culture is it's popular culture. It's what we as a society have decided is worth talking about. And in 2026, instead of the tabloids focusing on popular culture like music and television and drama, like we always do, we are slowly realizing how fucked up the world actually is. I've already known. We've all kind of already known, but we're noticing that the, information that we are taking in isn't a true reflection of what we actually need to talk about.
The inspiration around the research study is the fact that the book itself is outdated. It's from the 90s. The year is 2026, and we live in a very digitalized time. So instead of the sidewalk being a literal sidewalk, I'm treating it as the algorithms that we, cross every day. Social media like Instagram and TikTok use these different algorithms that curate videos and content, and we literally live our lives online. Pop culture is surfaced online. Everything that we do is online. So why wouldn't we have a modern research study that literally capitalizes what's happening in today's society? And better yet, someone who actually experiences it. Because one thing I hated about the book was that it was a white guy researching a bunch of black people. I get it. It's an ethnographic research study. Of course, he's going to immerse himself in the culture. I respect that. But still, dude, they were hustling. I could care less about that research study.
I had personal beef with SZA for a good 2 months after missing that concert, though. I could not listen to any of her music. I refused. I actually refused to listen to any SZA music. Anyways, I loved working for the hockey team. I would go out on my breaks and I would watch these guys run around on ice skates. I got paid to tell people what shirt I thought looked good on them and convince them to buy $350 shirts. Why the fuck were you guys buying $350 shirts? Sports culture is insane. Would I buy a jersey for that much? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Would I absolutely love a hockey jersey with my name on it? Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. Would I? Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't pay for it. Me personally, no. But do I want a hockey jersey? Yes. So yeah, I love hockey. Yeah. I worked for the Storm too for a little bit. They switched over, so basketball team. I got to act black at my job. You know how fun it was to act black at my job? Because the demographic is different. The demographic for hockey players is a lot different than the demographic for WNBA players, for basketball players. I saw more black people. I wore my afro more. When I wore my afro at either job, it was funny because everybody had something to say. But then sometimes I'd be standing still. This is when my hair was blonde and in a fro. They'd be like, holy shit, I thought you were a mannequin. They're like, you're so fucking beautiful. I thought you were a mannequin. Guys, stop. You're too sweet.
I don't plan on getting cited. This is literally just me having fun because, well, I hated the book. I hated the class. I love the professor. I just couldn't care about it. Another important aspect about this that I just wanted to mention was the fact that I had gone through and digitalized my data. I had put it into folders and organized Project Elephant. That's what it's called. And I had organized it by the canonical arrangement of the words, right? Adolescence comes first and then the 11 other words. The thing about the computers is they alphabetize them based off of a coding system, ASCII, and I don't know how to code. I was kind of interested. I said, why did they rearrange my words? You know what I mean? It's alphabetical order, but there's more to it. So I had gone through and I had recounted what words would line up for what. The most picked number for the research study was 7. The word that 7 was associated with was capitalism. So I was thinking the highest volume chosen was going to be the first word that I worked on. Because of the reorganization of the computer, the word that had been chosen other than capitalism is mental disorders. Funny enough, the page that I'm writing on talks about anxiety. So our first word is anxiety.
Pop culture, what the fuck? What do we talk about pop culture? Like we can sit and talk about like Justin Bieber right now. He had his performance at the Grammys and they're saying, oh, he's wearing boxers. You guys do understand like the symbolism behind his performance, right? It was him being vulnerable. It was him showing that he is still talented despite everything that, you know, the media has done to him. That's the problem, is the public and the media, right? That's what pop culture is us coming together and having discussions. But also pop culture tears people apart, right? Along with that, pop culture is the ability to talk about sensitive subjects without, you know, suppressing the importance of it, because I'm realizing that with the social media apps that we use nowadays, we are actively suppressing ourselves and censoring ourselves. We use certain words so that way the algorithm doesn't kick us off, or, you know, we're censoring ourselves. That's really bad. But also, 2026 has been dog shit. This political climate has been dog shit, and the thing is, we all know it. We're watching people be kidnapped and murdered right in front of us. And I'm using the word kidnapped and murdered because why would I censor myself? This is documentation. This is journalism. We are literally in war with society. We are at war, you guys. And if we don't document it, if we don't write this down, the history books will be so disappointed in us, you guys. We need to actually continue documenting. It's so important. It's so important. Because as of right now, maybe there's nothing I can do about what our current political system is doing. The government actively is showing that it does not care about its people. But you guys, we need to continue to document what's happening in the world. Yeah.
It's 2 a.m. You just closed the door. It's 2 a.m. What do I do? It's 2 a.m. What do you do? At 2 a.m. You think of me too. 'Cause at 2 a.m.